kind of want to discuss this topic a little. Some people will literally hurt themselves and they don't care. For example, people like the people who smoke, right? Like smoke cigarettes, or the people who do drugs, or the people who smoke weed. All those types of people. They actively chose to hurt themselves. They actively chose to do those kind of activities, even though they are aware, full aware of the effects and its bad things that will do to your body and stuff. But they will still chose to do it anyways. Why? Because it's all about instant gratification, instant pleasure. It's not about looking at it long term. They don't know that long-term pleasure is 10 times more satisfying, 10 times better, because when you achieve goals and when you achieve things, it's 10 times better than satisfactory, basically short-term gratification or instant gratification. It's a problem, it definitely is an issue which people don't understand, and they try, they just don't even want to acknowledge it, or even if they do, they just don't care. Today's world is basically, unfortunately, designed for shortcuts. And what do I mean by that? For example, look at alcohol. I mean, alcohol has been around for a long time, for decades, I would say. But, or even centuries. Centuries, yes. But look at what we have now. We have AIs. We have virtual girlfriends. We have, we have all these distractions, all these bad things. We have cigarettes. We have strip clubs. We have all these distractions, all these there's just so many distractions, there's just so many shortcuts. Smoking, like I said, just instant pleasure, credit cards, debts, buy now pay later, all these things, they're all engineered to give you shortcuts while destroying your life. Because let's just say you get into this car loan, you go to this dealership, right? You go on the salesman, which they're trained to do so, regardless of whatever your financial situation is. They just tell you monthly payment. I know this is just we're getting to the financial side, but this is true. These are all the same way, same pattern, same engineering, shortcuts and pleasure. They're like, oh, this will cost you this amount of monthly payments. I hate that word so much, monthly payment. It's just so miserable thinking about it. Like it just makes me miserable thinking about that garbage. These kind of people normalize debt, or just shortcuts. Let's just say shortcuts. I think the term shortcut is a lot better than debt. They normalized shortcuts so badly and instant gratification to the point where we just can't sit down and just think about ourselves for a bit. Like, for example, I'm not gonna even I struggle with it myself. I'm not saying I struggle financially or whatever. I struggle mentally mostly because I never had that environment for myself. That's the kind of a bit of a story for you guys, for my side. I never had that stability, emotional. I never emotional support. I never had any of those. But it did build me into who I am today. And once I find that group, it is gonna be an absolute blast. My social circle, and just building that stability for myself. Financial wise, I'm a lot ahead of other people. I think by the end of August, I should have around $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000 saved up, which is a lot of money. People nowadays, they don't even have, $500 in their bank account, let alone 80,000. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make here is people are falling into these traps of instant gratification and shortcuts. They don't see the long term. They don't see the total cost of things. The moment you sign off that contract, let's just go back to the dealership. The moment you sign off that contract, you signed off your life away, because that car is gonna cost you everything. $500 a month, right? guess what? Miss one payment or two payments, guess what's gonna happen? That tow truck is gonna come and yank that car, and they're gonna go and auction that car off, and you're gonna owe a negative equity. Even if they sell the car, you're still gonna owe a negative equity because you bought the car brand new, and you're gonna pay for the depreciation the moment you drive off the lot. All because what? Oh, I don't want to buy used cars. Oh, I like the brand new smell of the cars. Oh, I don't want to look poor. Oh, just all these things, impressing, flexing, shortcut, instant gratification. It all goes back to what I said. Instant gratification, showing off, impressing people who didn't even care about, all these things. But guess what? People still do these things anyways. They don't care. They just don't. They don't care about improving themselves, improving their life, actually buying a car in cash, and a car stays a car. They treat car like luxury and instant gratification through what? Debt, signing their life away. They basically sell their freedoms for that, or they sell their health, like with cigarettes, or just they make it that life chooses, or should I say this is a better term, they let other people choose how they live because of the choices that they make, because those shortcuts are designed this way, they're engineered this way. Okay, let's just look at it this way. Let's just look at it more broad. The way the system is designed, the way the life works, like governments, the jobs, economy, all these things, they are engineered in ways that keep us, they just want to keep us as broke and uneducated as possible, and also keep us miserable, because they want us to work for as long as possible until we die. That's just how it's designed, and it is working exactly as intended, or even better than intended, honestly. But guess who wins in the end? The people who chose to defeat instant gratification and delay that gratification. Gratification is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but sometimes you have to look at the cost of it. Nothing is free in this world. Nothing. Everything comes at a cost. Sometimes even emotionally, even if it's not, it doesn't cost you any money. It costs you emotionally. Let me tell you guys a story real quick. There was this girl that I really liked, and guess what? I'm gonna get into it in detail in a different video, but long story short, I kept going to this treatment, because I got into this accident, right? I realized in the end, even though I told her and she knew my intentions already, I just respected the boundary clinic, so she doesn't get fired or whatever. I asked her out again, and then later she avoided me, like she bailed basically. She was like, oh, I will tell you, and I just called her off myself. And guess what? It was starting to get to a point, like during the sessions, where I was emotionally suffering. Even though I was physically healing, I was emotionally suffering, even if the sessions were free because of the insurance benefits, like the accident benefits that gives you. I was emotionally suffering at the cost of physically recovering. Those kind of prices. That, you always pay in some way. You always pay in some way in life. Either in a good way or a bad way. So the choice is yours. Don't be that guy who takes shortcuts and tries to, basically stimulate himself with garbage that's not going to get him anywhere in life. In fact, just going to drag you down to lower levels. Sometimes even, sometimes even in bankruptcy. So don't let that happen to you guys. I don't want you guys to get to that point. Just be responsible. Defeat instant gratification. Sometimes, yes, instant gratification is nice, but make sure you do look at the costs and if you can afford it. And I'm not saying go blow all your money on a car, no. Or don't get into debt for a car. No, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying everything has a cost, and you gotta remember it. If you want to go and still get into car debt tomorrow while fully knowing you can't afford it, that's your choice. All I'm saying is just remember the consequences of the instant gratification. But yeah, Silent Ghillie out. Peace.